A few weeks back, I went out and bought a 2004 Honda ST1300 ABS Pan European with around 50,000 kilometers on the odometer. And after I got it home, I started working with it to return it back to a roadworthy state. I started by stripping the bike of its coverings and sorting out the various modifications and hacks into the electrical system that were both troubling and will eventually lead to a failure. This week, some of our parts have arrived and we get to work on the ST, so maybe, just maybe, we can ride it before the best days of summer are gone. As I'm sure everyone is experiencing this year, replacement parts are taking longer to arrive than ever before, and this was certainly the case with our ST1300. To fill the waiting time, I started by servicing the rear differential and changing the diff oil. Also out back, taking the rear tire off the rim so that we can get it cleaned up and ready to install the replacement tires as soon as they come in. Oddly, the replacement Metzeler Road-Tech tires arrived a full week ahead of the rest of the bike's parts. But since I'm replacing the 180-degree valve stems which make adding air to the ST1300 near impossible, with some K&L Aluminum 90-degree valve stems that didn't arrive at the same time as the tires, the new rubbers sat around waiting just like me. While we're talking about tires, I cannot stress enough how great the Metzeler Road-Tech tires are for sport touring. They came as standard equipment on my BMW K1300 SP when I bought it new back in 2015, and since then I've had a hard time considering anything else for a road tire. The Metzeler Road-Tech was designed to deliver exceptional grip on the street, particularly in the rain, which they do because you never know what kind of weather you're going to run into when you're out on a tour. What I've come to realize about the Metzeler Road-Tech is how good a performance tire it is as well. The grip this tire gives while cornering is inspiring, and I really like the ride it delivers. The Metzeler Road-Tech costs about $20 or $30 more than most of the other performance tires out there, but I'm going to tell you straight up, it's worth it. Ordered for the ST1300 were the Road-Tech Z8 Interact Sport Touring tires that are designed with multi-zone rubber compound and differentiating tire belt tensions, making the center of the tire 8% wider than on the previous Road-Tech and extending the life of the center of the tire, which is nice for touring. The shoulders of the tire are 100% silica infused for improved grip when you've left the straight roads behind and are ready to twist up the canyon or countryside. If you're considering a Metzeler Road-Tech, the most confusing thing that I found about ordering them is that Metzeler's designed different specs for specific bike manufacturers, and although all the tire specs will work for your motorcycle, the standard spec for the Road-Tech is the M spec, which is what we're installing on the ST. Other specs like E, K, and C were designed for specific manufacturers to look and maybe feel a little bit different on their bike or to match the weight requirements for their bike. While the O spec is a 2-ply carcass, and that's designed with higher mileage as the goal, so iron butt riders may want to check out the O spec and invest in that. Here are the standard Road-Tech 01 tires that I put on the Triumph GT last winter. They now have a couple of thousand kilometers on them, and as you can see, I ride all of the tread. Over the standard 01, the Road-Tech Z8 Interact was updated with a more consistent and predictable tire wear and ride performance. They grip and hold the road to allow you a better feel for what's going on with your lean and traction. Like I said, I just can't recommend them enough. When you're ready to install a new set of tires yourself, I put a link to my installation video in the description of this video. This full video on tire dismount and mount, found on Rod Rides and Wrenches, shows you different techniques you can use at home in your own garage to mount your tires yourself. Now, mounting tires is something that I don't really enjoy. Frankly, it's a pretty good workout, but most shops now discourage mounting loose tires or charge extortion rates just to mount your tires, so better off to know how to do it than endure the motorcycle shakedown for what essentially amounts to 10 minutes of work on their tire machine. So watch the video and learn how to do all this yourself. Before we mounted the tires, although I did install those K&L 90-degree valve stems as I mentioned. To do this, you first need to cut out the old valve stems on the inside of the rim, and then you can grab a pair of pliers and pull the old valve stem out from the outside of the rim. Be sure to clean the area up around the valve stem. The 90-degree valve stem can be mounted facing either left or right side of the bike. I think it makes a lot more sense to mount them so that the valve stem faces the right side of the bike. This will make it easier to put air in the tires when the bike's on its side stand, as the bike will be leaning to the left, making the right side more accessible. Remember to use some thread lock compound on the valve stem to help it stay in place. Since these valve stems are aluminum and thread together, anything threaded can be unthreaded as well. Tighten the valve stem up, and when you're done mounting your tire and have it refilled with air, be sure to test for leaks around the valve stem just to make sure that you're not going to be disappointed after you install the rim back on your bike. While fitting new tires, I'm also changing out the brake pads on the bike. It might just be me, as it has been a number of years since I've worked on an ST1300, but Honda does make the rear brake caliper mount on this bike overly complicated. If you need any help yourself with changing pads, bleeding, or flushing brake fluid, then check out the link in the description or click on the suggested video card coming across your screen now to get all the details and instructions from previous replacements that we've done. For the ST, I'll just mention that when fitting the new brake pads in the rear, be sure the pad retainer clip is positioned in the correct direction, with the slot for the rotor facing down, and the clip stays in place when fitting the new pads and slide pin back into the caliper. Reattach the caliper then to the bracket and position it out of the way so you can remount the tire. Once the tire is hanging off the differential, you can slide the rear brake caliper back in place and secure the rear axle, bringing all the components, including the caliper mount, up to torque spec. While out back on the bike, I also addressed one of the ugly accessory issues that we have on it. The previous owner installed a GV Tour Pack with lights that work off the brake light switch. The Tour Pack lights up when the brake lights are used, and this is certainly visible from traffic behind, so not a bad idea. The wiring for this Tour Pack, however, was routed down to the accessory brake lights for the license plate frame. So to explain, the wiring goes from the tail lights, or the rear of the bike, down to the license plate light, and then back up to the Tour Pack. This makes no sense whatsoever, and there's this loose wire that has no loom running through the left side of the underseat and then was pinned along the fender while being exposed to the elements and anything the tire could throw at it. Wiring like this is going to fail. It's just a matter of time. And of course the draw was off of the brake lights, which is something I didn't want to have short out on a trip and blow a fuse. To remedy the situation, I disconnected the secondary accessory wiring at the license plate light, inspected the connection of the license plate light to the harness, and was satisfied with that. It looked in good order. Then we spliced the Tour Pack wiring into the connection under the seat instead of all the way down the fender. This should prevent failure of the connection. I also updated the connector under the seat for the Tour Pack and ran some additional lighting for the high mount brake light on the Tour Pack. For some reason, there were no lights in what would be the correct location for a brake light, and I had some spare LEDs kicking around, so I installed them in the Tour Pack. With the additional lights in the Tour Pack for the high mount stop, it presented the option of having the band of lower lights operate as running lights, and then just use the high mount for brakes only. I considered doing this, but decided against it, as I didn't want to be rolling down the road with a bunch of red lights on for no reason. After all, this is a Honda Pan European, not a Goldwing. But you tell me, should I have wired the Tour Pack for running lights instead of just the brake lights? Put your answer in the comments below and let your opinion be heard, or at least read. While you're at it, please do me a favor and click on the subscribe button. Stats show that the majority of you watching these videos still haven't subscribed to Rod, Rides, and Wrenches. And on our channel, you'll find maintenance and tech videos on a variety of different motorcycles, as well as reviews on bikes and even riding gear. All this almost absolutely free to you, the viewer, with the one-time low price of just clicking our subscribe button. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Also arriving ahead of other parts for the bike were a used set of stock handlebars to replace the Handlebar Mini Apes. These bars, although straight, were in rougher shape in person as opposed to their pictures on eBay. Coming out of Florida, the bars must have been fished out of the Atlantic post-spring break since the corrosion was pretty extensive. Only bonus here was the bars were complete, straight, and the plastic cap for the center was not cracked or missing. Since my other parts, like the fork seals, had not arrived, I had time to clean these bars up and give them some fresh paint. Although not as spiffy as a brand new set, they at least now look passable, and for less than $140 Canadian delivered, they'll suit the bike just fine. I'm going to wrap up and save the fork rebuild for our next video. If you didn't see the original video for the ST1300, check it out, and I'm sure you'll also like our 200,000 kilometer motorcycle video you can find right now on our channel on YouTube. I'll be back with more on the Honda ST1300 Pan European soon, so until then, thanks for liking and subscribing, and ride safe.